How to create a professional blog using the 2019 theme from WordPress. Let's begin. What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is David, websitecreativepro.com. So professional blogging with the 2019 theme. Now this theme is completely free and was released by WordPress back in 2019 and is really ideal for any type of professional who has expertise and want to share that expertise via a blog. Now in this tutorial video, I'm going to walk you through step 1 to step done on how to create a professional blog using the 2019 theme. That means we're going to be getting a domain name at a domain name registrar. We're going to be getting a shared hosting account. We're going to set up name servers, install WordPress, and design our website. Like always, make sure to check the links in the description for any resources mentioned in this video, and let's begin. So the first step in starting a professional blog is to get a domain name. Now you have two main options for doing this. You can get your domain name through the web host, or you can go and register it at a domain name registrar. Now yes, I said register because you can't just buy a domain name and own it forever. You have to register on a year-by-year basis. And so you'll see a lot of web hosts like Bluehost offer a free domain name for the first year. And so what that means is like after the first year, you're going to be paying an inflated renewal rate that's much higher than what you'd be paying at Namecheap. And so that's why I recommend you go with Namecheap, because long term, you'll save more money. Now getting started with Namecheap is very easy. All you have to do is go to namecheap.com. You'll be presented with a search bar where you can type in the .com that you want to register. Then Namecheap will come back to you and tell you if this domain name is available or not available. If it's not available, then you're going to have to come up with something else. If it is available, then you are good to go. Then just go ahead and add it to your cart and then submit payment and create a Namecheap account. Now, one thing to note on the checkout page is that you can register your domain name for multiple years up front if you want. I personally recommend registering your domain name for maybe 2 or 3 years up front, and then you get WhoisGuard for free. And what WhoisGuard is just it keeps your information private. So part of ICANN rules when registering a domain name, you have to give specific contact information. WhoisGuard, WhoisProtection, whatever you want to call it, just keeps that information private. And that is it. So once you get a domain name at a domain name registrar, it's time to get a shared hosting account. Now what a shared hosting account is just a piece of an industrial strength server that's on 24/7, so your website is available 24/7. Now I personally recommend that you start with Bluehost because they are the #1 recommended web host by WordPress. Once you're able to grow your website to like 1,000 visitors a day, 2,000 visitors a day, then I definitely recommend moving away from Bluehost and going somewhere like WPX Hosting, which is a much more expensive premium web host that's geared for established websites. But if you're just starting out, you don't have a website, you have no traffic, Bluehost is fantastic. Now to get started with Bluehost is very easy. All you have to do is go to bluehost.com, click the big green button, then you're going to be presented with various hosting packages that you can buy. I personally like their Choice and Choice Plus. If I had to pick one, it definitely would be their Choice Plus plan because that allows you to have multiple websites on your account, and it provides enough resources where you can grow a website or blog to over 1,000 visitors a day with ease. So get a hosting package, and then you're going to be presented with a screen where you can register a domain name through Bluehost, or you can use a domain name that you already own. If you registered your domain name at Namecheap, just use the feature domain name that I already own. Now this is going to set your domain name as the primary domain name on your hosting account. After that, you're going to be presented with the checkout page, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just fill out your personal information, your payment, account information, etc. Make sure to uncheck any site extras, and on this page you can also choose to purchase a hosting package for 1, 2, or 3 years. I personally recommend buying a hosting package for 2 years because it usually takes 2 years to grow a website to over 1,000 visitors a day. Anyways, that is it. Once you submit payment, you'll be presented with an onboarding process. I definitely recommend you just click skip this step for each step because you have this tutorial video to follow. So now we have a shared hosting account at Bluehost, and we have a domain name at a domain name registrar, Namecheap. How do we connect these two? It's very easy. All we have to do is log into Namecheap and then change the name servers to point to our shared hosting account. It sounds complicated, but it's really just copy and paste. It's very easy, and I'm going to show you how it's done right now. Now, once you submit payment and you skip the onboarding process, you're going to be looking at a page that looks like this. Now, this is where your primary domain name is. So if you use a domain name that you own, which is the domain name that you registered at Namecheap, this is going to say something like temporary box, something. It's totally normal. The only reason to get it set up correctly so it looks like yourdomainname.com is because you have to set up name servers. So anyways, you want to go into your Namecheap account, and then you want to find the domain name that you registered at Namecheap, okay? And so here we go. This is my Namecheap account. So I went in and went to my domain names, and I clicked on the manage button, and this is what it looks like, okay? Now let's come down here. Now this is where you need to update the name servers, okay? So you want to go to the drop down. Right now yours should say Namecheap Basic DNS. You want to click on Custom DNS. Now you need to get your name servers, okay? Now for any web host, okay, you're going to get a welcome email from Bluehost, but any web host sends a welcome email to new customers. And so with Bluehost, it's no different. So you just come to the bottom of the welcome email that they send you, and you get NS1 Bluehost and NS2 Bluehost. And all you have to do is just highlight this and copy and paste it into where it says name servers right here. And so let's just do this as a quick example. Now pretend that I just put that in. And so now we're good to go. And so the thing that we need to do is now you have to click on this green check mark. So once you have NS1 right here and NS2 right there, you've successfully added name servers. Just click the green check mark, and then it's going to say DNS server update may take up to 48 hours. It could. I've never seen that happen. It usually is active within 5 to 10 minutes. So maybe just take a break, maybe get a cup of coffee, and then everything should be set up correctly. So now you have set up name servers, and now we are good to go. We are finally ready to install WordPress on our blog to begin the process of creating our professional blog. So I'm going to walk you through how it's done, how you set up WordPress within Bluehost quickly and easily. So if you're ready, let's begin. Let's install WordPress. So once you have name servers set up correctly, your domain name will propagate right here, and it'll just be whatever your domain name is.com. Now, Bluehost is incredibly easy. To install WordPress, you can just click this blue WordPress button, and it'll automatically install WordPress and take care of all the little details for you. Now, I personally don't recommend installing WordPress this way, to be honest with you, because you want to have a little bit more control. And so what you want to do is you want to click on My Sites. And so when you click on My Sites, you're actually going to see your site right here. And so you just want to go ahead and delete site. Yep. Really, you want to go ahead and delete site so you can set up specific things that you want for your website, like your login information, password, all that stuff that you want to have a little bit more specific control over. You don't want just Bluehost to automatically generate that information for you. Anyways, now that we have a blank screen, you just go to Add Sites. Now we have Bluehost Builder, WordPress. Obviously, we're going to use WordPress. All right, so site name and tagline, you can just put in whatever you want here. So I'm just going to put in the name of the website. You can change this later once WordPress is installed, so don't stress over this now. I'll just put in a tagline. Okay, now very important, make sure to click the Advanced tab, because the Advanced tab, this is where you can set your email address. So if you ever forget your password and you need to request your password, it will be sent to this email address. So if you want to have it be something different than the email you use to sign up for Bluehost, this is where you can do it. Now here is where you can set your WordPress admin username and password. Okay, so instead of having Bluehost automatically generate this for you, you have a little bit more control, so you can just come in here and come up with something else that you want. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, and click on next once everything's set up. Okay, so now we don't need WP forms, we don't need this, and we don't need this. Now this is the domain name. The directory is if you want to install like WordPress on a directory within your website. So if you only want to install them like /blog, then you can do that here. But generally speaking, you want WordPress to be installed on the root domain name. So I'll just leave this blank right here. Then click on next. And you've just successfully installed WordPress. It is that simple. So now your options are to log into WordPress or go back to My Sites. So let's just open this in a new tab. We're going to log into WordPress. Now, a little bit of information to be aware of is that you're going to have to remember your username and password. And to log into your website, you can either log into your Bluehost account and then log into your website via that way if you want, or you can do what most people do and go to WP-admin in order to log into your WordPress website. This is the primary way that most people use to sign into any WordPress powered website. Okay, so this is Bluehost. Let me just go ahead and sign out. And now when you go to WP-admin, you're going to be looking at a screen like this. And right here is where you can put in your username or email address. And then here is where you can put in the password that you just created for your WordPress powered website. Now log back into your website, and there's a few quick little settings that I want you to set before we get started. It will help with the security as well as your on-page SEO for your website. So first thing is you want to navigate to your users tab. So you just go over here and go to users and click on it. Now right here is where it'll have all your users. So this is your username, the email, and the role, which is the administrator. Now if you ever want to change like your login information for WordPress, this is where you go to do it. Okay, so we can just take a quick look at this page right here. Here you can set a first name and a last name, a nickname if you want, and you can display the name as something else other than your login information, obviously. And then right here, biographical info, you can put your bio right here. So if you're wondering like, why would I do that? Well, because some WordPress themes take your bio and put it at the bottom of the blog post. So I'm sure you've seen blogs where it's like written by David. David loves coffee and da 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 da. And like that's that's where this is being propagated from. Now, for security reasons, you just want to go ahead and create an author account. Okay, you don't want to be publishing content as the administrator. You want to have the administrator be the account that you use to log in to manage your site. But when it comes to publishing content, you want to get in the habit of just publishing as an author. So just go to add new. And then right here, just fill out the on-screen information, okay? It's not too complicated. You're gonna have to put in a username, a new email, not the email that you've already used, first name, and that's it. And so role right here, you can change it to subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. So I definitely would recommend creating an author or editor account. These just have varying level of control over the website. Administrator obviously has full access, and then access goes down with each additional role. But an author and editor has access to the blog posts and can publish content, etc. Now, the other thing you want to do is go to your permalinks. So permalinks is found underneath the settings tab, and then you want to navigate right here to where it says permalinks. Permalinks literally means permanent link. Now, for a blog, you have a lot of different options for what permalink structure you should use. And so the most common one that most people recommend is post name, and this is an okay structure. This is ideal if your website's going to be, 50 pages or less, then this is a nice post structure. But if your website's going to be bigger, you're going to be blogging, which is what we're going to be doing, then we don't want this structure. You want to have a custom structure, and it's going to be /blog/post name. And this gives your website a nice site architecture where all the blog posts are organized under the blog. If that makes sense, okay? And so you'll see other types of structures like the day and name, month and name, etc. And so these are okay. Like if you're publishing time-sensitive content is okay. Organizing things like as your domain name /category /post name is okay. Like that's a good structure if you're going to be building out a really massive website with multiple categories and multiple blog posts in each category. That's fine, but for most people who are going to be creating a blog that's going to have long-term, maybe 500 to 1,000 blog posts, /blog/post name is just fine. And next, you just want to go ahead and click on Save Changes to apply the changes, and that is it. Now it's time to just go ahead and delete some pre-installed content that comes with your hosting account. And so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to navigate over to where it says plugins. Now, plugins are additional pieces of software that you can install on your website, and we're going to be installing a few different plugins on our website, but with a Bluehost account and a lot of web hosts, you just get default stuff. And so let's just go ahead and delete some of this. And so we have Hello Dolly right here. We don't need that installed. Hello Dolly just does nothing other than leave quotes on your admin page. Akismet, this one is up to you. If you're going to have blog comments, then you may want to have this installed because it protects your blog from spam. In order to activate Akismet, you have to click activate, and then you have to get an API key. It's not too difficult, but I'm not going to be enabling blog comments, so we're just going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, so now we have Constant Contact and we have Bluehost. Bluehost has their own dedicated plugin to help make ease of use easy. I personally don't need this, and I recommend that you get rid of it as well. All right, so now we'll just go ahead and delete that. And then we have the Creative Mail by Constant Contact. All right, so I don't need this either. Let's go ahead and delete this and click OK. All right, so Jetpack by WordPress, I do recommend because Jetpack allows you to have related blog posts at the bottom of every blog post that you create, which is super duper helpful for building internal links and just keeping visitors on your sites. So we'll set that up later, but for right now, we'll just leave it where it is. It's fine. Now, next we want to go to Appearance, and then you want to go to Themes. Now here, because we're going to be installing the 2019 theme, this is the one we're going to be designing. This is the one we want to activate. So to activate a theme is very easy. Just mouse over it and click on activate. All right, so now the 2019 theme is active. And so let's go ahead and just delete these two themes from our WordPress installation. So I'll just click on 2017 theme, and to delete any theme that's not the active theme is right in the corner right there where we have a delete button, and just go ahead and click that and it will delete the theme. And then just do that again for the 2020 theme, and then do that, and you're good to go. So now we have the 2019 theme installed. So let's begin. Now it's time to set a home page. So if we just take a quick look at the way our website looks right now, this hello world, what this specifically is just your very first blog post that just comes with any WordPress installation. So for our professional blog, what we're going to have is we're going to have a nice home page, and then we're going to have a dedicated page for like blog, contact, about, resources, that sort of thing. We're not going to have the blog post be the home page. And so to do that is very simple. So we just come over here. Now the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to pages. And so you need to create 2 pages, and then we can set them within WordPress to be the page for the home page and the page for the blog post page. If that makes sense, it's very simple. So anyways, you literally have to click on add new and then just create 2 new pages. And so I'm just going to call this the home page. Okay. Literally that is it. Okay. I'm just going to leave it as home page. Let's click on publish and publish. Okay, so now let's navigate back to our WordPress dashboard, and let's go ahead and create a new page and call it blog. Okay, so I'll call this blog. Now make sure that the URL structure is /blog right there. Okay, that's why we're calling it blog. We're not calling it blogs or anything random. We're calling it blog. Okay, and then keep the URL structure yourwebsite.com/blog. Go ahead and click publish. Great. So now navigate back to your WordPress dashboard. Now what you need to do is you need to go over to where it says settings, and then you want to go to reading. So let me just go ahead and open up the reading section of our WordPress installation. All right, so your homepage displays your latest blog post or a static page. We want it to display a static page. Okay, so now this is the homepage. We're going to select homepage. And this is the post page. And so go ahead and select the blog to be the post page. And that's it. And so for each post in a feed, include full text. Make sure to check this and have it say summary. And then that is it. Now blog pages show at most 10 posts. This affects how many blog posts are on the specific blog page. Okay. And so typically you want to have like 5 to 10. It's totally up to you. I'm going to go with 8. Okay. And that's it. And so go ahead and click on save changes, and that is it. Okay, so let's begin designing our website. So we're going to be starting with the home page, specifically the top section here, and then move our way down the page. And then we're going to jump into the blog post, about page, contact page, the footer, all that good stuff. So anyways, step 1 is let's adjust this top section right here where we have the site title. Now we're going to add a logo, and you're going to see why this is a great theme for an individual expert-oriented blog. So anyways, let's go ahead and click on customize. And then once we do that, we want to navigate to like where it says site identity. And now we can select logo. So let's go ahead and do that. And now let's drag and drop a logo in. And so I'm going to take a picture of myself. And that's what I recommend you do too, because again, this theme is great for individual professional bloggers. Now we can crop the image just a little bit. Maybe I'll just have it like that. Okay, let's click on crop image. And wonderful. So now we have a nice looking image of our, you have of ourselves, of yourself on the website. So anyways, right under here is where you can change the site title and the tagline. And so, if your website's called something else, maybe you have a little bit more of a clever branded domain name. that's fine. Like just add it here. So maybe like, for example, my personal blog is actually called Edge of David. So I'll just call it like that. And then I'll add in a tagline right there. Find your edge, enjoy life. Okay. And there we go. So now we have a nice looking top section right there. Let's click on publish. All right, so now let's navigate back, and now let's go ahead and add a menu underneath this. So to add a menu, let's go to menu section. And now right here, we want to click on view all locations. Let's go ahead. Okay, so the cool thing what this theme does is it has 3 primary menus. So you have your footer menu, which is down here, which we'll get to later. We're going to be adjusting the primary menu and then social links menu. And so the primary menu will pop up right underneath here. Now, in order to do that, we click select, and then that actually means you have to create a new menu. Okay, so we're going to be creating a new menu, and it's in the primary section. Now, within your dashboard, if you're wondering like where is this in the dashboard, you just go to appearance, and then you go to menus over here. Okay. And so this is the section where you can also create menus if you want. Okay, so both of these ways work. So anyways, let's go here, and I'm going to click on next. Now I need to give the menu a name, so we'll call it primary. Okay, just so for logical organizational purposes, so I know what I'm doing, I'll just call it primary. Okay, so now the primary menu exists. Now, how come nothing popped up? Well, that's because you actually have to add specific pages to it. And so I'm going to click on add items. Now, once I've done that, you can add in any type of pages, posts, categories that you have created, or you can add in custom links as well. And so I've already gone ahead and created an about page, a contact page, resources, and blog. Okay. I've already gone ahead and done that. So again, you're going to have to go through this process yourself. So you just, again, navigate back to pages and then just go ahead and create these specific pages. We'll get to each one individually about how to best design it, but just go ahead and create it so you can add it to your menu. Anyways, I'm going to click on plus. So now the blog is added, resource, contact, and about. And let's see how that looks. Okay, so this looks really nice how it's popping up over top there. And so I want to reorder things. So I'm just going to drag about and just leave it there. Okay, so now we lead off with about, blog, resources, contact. Okay, and if you ever want to create like a drop down, you could also do that. So what you have to do is like see how I move the contact there. So now we have an automatic drop down. I'm just going to leave it as is. I don't want it to be a specific drop down. And so let me just move the contact to the end. Whatever you want to do, that's how you organize things, okay? And so let me go ahead and click on publish. All right, and so the last thing that we can do is we can add in social media links. So let's go to, again, back to menus, view all locations, social media links. Click select. Now we can select the primary for social media links. We don't want to do that. We want to create a new menu. Okay, so once you create a new menu, it's going to be social links, and then we'll title it something logical. So social, I'll just call it that. We'll click on next. Okay, now that we have social there, now let's go ahead and click on add items. Now for this, we want to be using the custom links function. Now, what's great about this theme is it automatically populates anything you put in here based on the URL. And so, for example, let me just open up my YouTube channel. So we'll do that, and then /c/. Okay, there we go. All right, let me back out of this. All right, so I'll take the URL of my YouTube channel, and I'll put the URL in there. Boom, and I'll link text will be YouTube. Okay, let's go ahead and add to menu. Now, because I titled the link text specifically YouTube, the icon for YouTube appears. And so you can just keep going with that. So for example, if I did, for example, Facebook, okay, we'll just do Facebook. So let me go ahead and facebook.com/website creative pro. All right, so we don't need photos. We'll just take this. All right, let me click copy. Then we'll navigate back over here. And then I'll type in link text, I'll type in Facebook, and then we'll click add to menu. Okay, and that's it. And so now we can go ahead and click on publish. All right, and that is it. So that's how you edit the top section of this theme to make it look a little bit more professional. So it automatically adds an image of yourself that has a nice little animation, the site title, tagline, menu. I definitely would keep the menu short and sweet, like 4 items, maybe 6 items max. And then it automatically populates different social media links based on the URL. So if you put in like YouTube icon will appear. Facebook, the Facebook icon will appear. Instagram, Twitter, same deal. So that's how you add social media links, a menu, and edit the logo as well as the site title and tagline. Now let's design our homepage. So this theme works really well with the Gutenberg block editor, and so we can go ahead and install additional plugins to add more helpful blocks to just create a really nice homepage. Now, in general, for most of you watching this, for most websites, I definitely recommend creating a sort of like visual menu for the entire website. So like you can take a look at like websitecreatorpro.com, for example, like top section right here, call to action. You could add in an email opt-in form here instead, welcome message that explains where the website's about, helpful guides that people can get into, like tutorials, blog posts, products, courses, podcasts, Instagram, YouTube, whatever is important for what you're specifically doing online. That's kind of like what you want to do with the homepage. You want to make it a visual menu. You don't want to overwhelm people though too. You don't want to create stuff that's like too much with too much content. Just keep it essential. So anyways, I'm going to add Instagram, YouTube, blog posts. So let's get started. So first things first, what I really like about this top section is like, for the homepage on this theme, we definitely want to have like a welcome message. Okay, so people open up the site, they hit the homepage, Edge of David, boom, 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 find your edge. Okay, a menu, social media links, good. Okay, what's this site about? Like, how people are going to know? So this is kind of, again, like an expert-oriented blog. You got to tell people what the site's about quickly. You got 5 minutes. You got like, or actually not even 5 minutes. You got like 3 seconds. People open up the site, they need to know what the site's about quickly. So anyways, let's go into our pages and let me just go ahead and adjust the home page. So let's open up our home page that we have set as the front page. Okay, so right here, first things first, we're gonna delete this and change this. Instead of saying homepage, we want to say something that's a little bit more keyword focused. So this is your opportunity to put in whatever keyword whatever keywords are related to like what the website is about. So for example, I can do like travel, investing, or travel, finance, and personal development. Okay, something like that. Now we want to have a nice little welcome message. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just copy this paragraph from my personal blog there, and I'll go in here and I'll put that in there, paste it. Okay, so that looks nice. Let me go ahead and update that. And then let's just reload the page and see how this is looking so far. All right, so that looks really nice. So we have a nice little welcome message. I'd recommend just having like something like this, okay? Like 2 paragraphs, okay? Don't overwhelm people. You don't need to write like a 1,000-word essay, okay? Just tell people like what the site's about. Have some keyword-rich title right here that grabs people's attention so they quickly and easily understand what the website is about. Now a good spot is to have some type of like call to action for people either to like buy a course, subscribe to your YouTube channel, subscribe to an email opt-in form, like whatever it is you want people to do. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put like an email opt-in form right underneath that. So all like email opt-in providers like ConvertKit, Aweber, they all kind of functionally work the same in the sense that they give you like a way to like build forms and then give you like the HTML code that you can embed the form. So whatever you decide to use, I'm going to be using ConvertKit. So let's go ahead and click on create new. And I want to create a form and I want to embed a form. So we're going to go to inline because this is the one that allows you to embed forms within blog posts, the homepage, whatever. So we want inline. Now the one that I really like is this one, Claire, because this one's just a simple field. So let's click on choose. What I mean by field is like we don't get that many options. We have like first name, email address, subscribe button there. So let me go ahead and click on this. I'm going to change this blue to maybe a red, something that really stands out a little bit more. Yeah, that looks great. All right, so let me go ahead and click on save and let me click on embed. Okay, so we're going to take this form. Now, obviously, within your email provider, you got to set up all the additional details on the back end. Okay, you got to verify your account and verify your email, etc. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to click on HTML because that's what I'm going to embed. You got to pay attention. Okay, so this is JavaScript, HTML, WordPress. Like for WordPress, this works too, but you need to install the WordPress ConvertKit WordPress plugin. I personally just like using the HTML. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to click on this and going to copy this entire thing. Boom. All right, so let's go here and let's click on plus and let's type in HTML, custom HTML right there. All right, let's go in and paste this in, and that looks good. So let's go ahead and update, and let's go take a look at the home page, see how it's coming out. And yeah, that looks wonderful. Okay, so look at that. So we have a nice little welcome message right there. People read it, they understand the site, and there's a call to action for people to actually do something. All right, so now let's continue on. So now I'm gonna add in Instagram, okay? Follow me on Instagram. There we go. Okay, so I need to change this to a heading, and that should be an H2 heading. All right, so that looks good right there. So you could always give context to your Instagram. So like, I work online, and travel part-time. Follow my adventures. I don't know, whatever. Follow my adventures. Okay. Now to embed Instagram, okay, we click here, plus, and all you have to do is type in Instagram, and there should be an Instagram block. Okay, so now you can embed a URL from Instagram. So what that means is you have to go to your Instagram, then you have to literally go to a specific like photo that you want to embed. So for example, I'll take this one that's from Taiwan. I'll copy that and let me click here, boom, paste that in. Let's click on embed. All right, so that's looking good, but it's like, well, maybe I want to make this like a 2-column thing, right? How about like a picture and a picture, something like that instead of just one? So let me go ahead and remove this block. So if you want to do that, it's easy. So over here, we come here, and then we have to find on, we have to go to like something like layout. You have to type in different things, or you could type in grid or column. Okay. So right now it's like we have columns there. So first thing we need to do is now we need to go and install a new plugin because the block that I want is not activated right now because I'm missing a plugin that I really like. And so let's go to plugins. Now the only plugin we have installed so far is Jetpack. So I'm going to go to add new, and I'm going to type in Stackable. This is one of my favorite WordPress plugins because it adds so many nice blocks to your design. So let's go ahead and install it and then click on activate. There we go. All right, so we're good to go. So let's go back here and let me click on update. And so that's just going to save the blog post in its current state, or sorry, the home page, not the blog post. Okay, now it's updated. Let me click on reload so I can have access to those stackable blocks. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we come back here. Let's click on plus. Okay, so now I can click on something like browse all, and now I can come up here and I can find like specific blocks that I want to use. Okay, and so for example, I'm going to use advanced columns and grids. Let's try this one out. Okay, so now we have two little blocks here. Now we can add in like say 2 Instagram images, and it's going to pop up as one next to each other. All right, so let's go here. We'll type in Instagram. Boom. All right, let's go back here and take this. Make sure we got this again. X out of that. All right, so let me go here. Oh, there we go. Let's click on embed. All right, very good. Okay, now let's click on plus sign there. Let's click on Instagram again, and let's take a different image. I'll take this one instead. Okay, and let me go ahead and embed. So let me click on that and see how that's looking. Okay, let me click on update. All right, so let's go ahead and reload the homepage, see how everything's kind of looking now. All right, so we have a nice little welcome message, email opt-in form, section for Instagram. I really like the way that this loads. I know there's lots of plugins, but I personally just like embedding it this way. Gives context to the image. I think it's really nice, and people can just click on it and view profile, view the image, like very quick and easy to use. Now I'm gonna embed some videos underneath. So let's go down here. Now just be careful, because see, if I click there, that's this column, and if I click here, it's this column. You have to make sure to click all the way over here so it's its own column. So type in casual travel videos. Okay, so I'll take this, I'll make a heading out of it. Okay, there we go. Now videos is very easy. You can just jump in here and take any like URL that you want and then just embed it. And so I'll take this, I'll click the copy link address, okay? Then you just navigate back here and then you right click and paste. And then WordPress will automatically take this, okay? And that's it. And so let's go ahead and update. And let's go ahead and reload. All right, so that's looking good. So we have Instagram, we have casual travel videos. Now I want to show off my blog posts, okay? So for blog posts, I definitely recommend now breaking it up a little bit, because like this is one kind of section of the site. And so let's have like a little separator here. And so what I recommend doing is maybe adding in a cover image, okay? And so we'll go right here and I'll click on the plus sign and we'll type in cover. Okay, type in cover and then there's a block called cover. All right, so now you can upload an image, and this image will become a quote unquote cover image. Okay, so anyways, let's click on upload. And now all you have to do is select the image that you want. So I'm gonna select this one. All right, so let's let that upload. Great. All right, so that looks great. So I'll type in recently published, okay? Because this is going to be for the blog post section. All right, so you click the block. Now make sure to pay attention over here on the right hand sidebar, because this is where you have the option to have like edit specific things for this specific block. Okay, so for example, like text settings, I can have a drop cap if I want. I think that looks terrible. I'll just leave it like this. We have color settings right there, text color, the background image color. You can all adjust that right here. So for example, if I wanted this to like be like that, see, like that looks really like that looks really bad. So I'll come in there and I'll click on clear and clear. There we go. Okay, so right now if I come down here, we overlay, I can choose a custom color right here. So if I want to have this be something that's like a little bit more inviting and brighter, I could do something like, there we go. I could have it like that. All right, so now you also have additional options up top over here. So for example, if I come over here, I can have like different settings over here to remove the block, insert things before and after it, etc. Right here, I can adjust the text as I want. And so let's click on this. And so with this little hamburger menu right there, we can have align left, center, full width. So what's cool about this theme is it does support full width images. So we click on that, okay? Now this looks good. Okay, so now we click on this block. And now right over here, you have options to have like media settings, fixed background. And so like, for example, you can have it be fixed background, but like, look at that. If I click that, then the image kind of moves and it's kind of a parallax image. And I think that looks really nice. So let's go ahead and click on update. Now let's go back to our homepage and reload. Take a look at how everything's coming out. All right, so we got our welcome message, email opt-in form, Instagram, YouTube, and now we have a nice little section right here that breaks up like the blog post. Now the last thing that's missing is to add in blog posts. So how do we do that? So right under here, this is another thing that I like about Stackable. We click the plus sign and we can type in something like, you know, whenever you want to like look for a block, always type in like something like post or blog and then see what comes up. So now I typed in posts. We have posts here. Boom, click that. All right, and so now here I can kind of adjust automatically. And so personally, like I really like the way blog post 4 right over here looks. So I'll go ahead and click on this. All right, and that looks really nice. So I went ahead and just created like a quick little like blog post called example. Anyways, let me go ahead and update this. Okay, now let's reload. Okay, so that looks good. So now one other thing with blog posts that you can also do, let me just go back to my dashboard. Now with blog posts, you can add in feature images. So let me just go ahead and do that. And so let me just open up example. Let me open up hello world. Now within a blog post, if you navigate off into the right-hand sidebar, you'll see something that says feature image. And so that associates an image with the specific blog post. So we can just click on this, set a feature image. And let me just come in here and I'll drag and drop in an image that I want to use. There we go. Okay, let me just click on set feature image and let me click on update. And then for this one, I'll click on set feature image and I'll just select this image. Let's go ahead and click set feature image. Let me click on update. Okay, now let's open up the website again and see how everything is looking. Okay, so now we have a nice section there. And there we go. So I think that looks fantastic. And as you can see, like it's really helpful to have this section that breaks up the two parts, because the way the theme is designed, everything's off to the left just a little bit and has this white space over here, which I think looks interesting. You know, it's an interesting design choice, and I think it's really helpful. But like when you add in blog posts, everything's centered, and so that's why it's really helpful to break up the section right there. And that is it. And so I think that looks fantastic. Like this looks great. So it's like someone opens up the site, welcome message, boom, email opt-in form, Instagram, YouTube. Break up the section a little bit with a fancy looking parallax image, and then you have your latest blog post right there. So let's just jump back in here. And so again, with this block, make sure to go to click on the block and check the right hand sidebar. And this is, again, this is where you can edit specific things. Okay, so here you have different styles that you can add in. If you want like a premium style, you got to pay for it. You can change, like click over here to style, like columns. You can have 1 column, 2 column. You know, if you want to adjust like how many blog posts are going to be shown within this, like for example, post settings, number of items, 6 or 2 or 4, newest to oldest. You have a lot of like granular control. Like if you want an excerpt or you just want the title, you can adjust that here. So like for example, excerpt, you know, if I want to reduce this to nothing, then it comes down to like whatever 1, 20, like however many words you want appearing. Whatever, you have a lot of control. And so I think I'm going to leave it there. I think this is a really nice start to creating a nice helpful like visual menu for the website to help people get you into the site. And so you have your, you know, it's really up to you, but hopefully that's really helpful in giving you some design ideas. In general, make the homepage sort of like a visual menu for your website about whatever is most important to what it is you're doing online, whether it's your courses, Instagram, YouTube, any type of like online business, whatever you think is essential, and then just lay it out on the homepage and make it into a visual menu. But anyways, that is it for how to design the homepage. Okay, so now let's clean up this footer. So this footer looks just terrible, like tons of links, tons of things, very distracting, very weird. Has a link to WordPress right there, then like just looks weird. So let's like fix it. So how do we do that? First off, you have to understand how this is being controlled. Now this is being controlled by under appearance, widgets, boom, right here. Okay, so you can add and delete widgets from this section with ease right there. And so I personally would recommend deleting all of this. You don't need any of this. So let's just get started doing that. So we'll just delete search. Let's go ahead and delete recent posts. Let's go ahead and delete recent comments. Let's delete that. Archives we don't need. Delete that. Categories we don't need. We'll delete that. And definitely meta description. Like, I don't understand why WordPress comes like this. Why would you want someone to be able to log into your website easily like that? All right, let's reload this and see how the footer looks now. Much better. Okay, so now there's a few things that we do need to do. So first, I want to get rid of this too. Like, this is just, I don't want to link to WordPress.org on my site. So how do we get rid of that? So you go to customize, okay? Now, once you go to customize, you have to go to what is called additional CSS. Now there's a little bit of code that you're going to need, okay? And so you're just going to have to display none. And so these two sections, this is called, let me just right click and paste there. Okay, sorry, wait a second. All right, so this is called the site name. This is called the imprint. So every theme, they call it something different. But anyways, you just want to have dot imprint, display none, dot site name, display none. We'll click on this and then we just copy and paste that in there. And there we go, now it's gone. So let's click on publish. Okay, great. Now we're not done yet because we do want to have footer links. So a proper footer should just have essential links to like essential pages like privacy policy, terms and conditions, like your contact page, any other like miscellaneous pages that don't like quite fit in. Like I have a link to hire, which links to like my Fiverr gig. For example, like I don't want to have that in the main menu bar because it's just like it's a side thing, you know, resources page sort of thing. Like that's kind of like how I approach the design of the footer. You just want to have those legal pages, disclaimers, and any other page that doesn't quite, you know, it's not super important that would belong in the menu, you know. So anyways, let's go back to menus and let's go to view all locations. All right, now we want to check out footer menu. Now we're going to have to create a new footer menu. So go ahead and create new. Now footer menu, and I'm going to name this as the footer. And let's click on next. Okay. All right, good. So let's go ahead and click on add items. Now, what should you add in? Again, I definitely recommend taking the time and to go and create like a, terms of use page, privacy policy page, disclosure, that sort of thing. And your contact page, maybe like if you don't want to have your contact page up top here, then definitely just leave a link to the contact page in the footer. That's totally fine. So anyways, let's go ahead and add in our disclosure. We'll add in terms of use and there we go. Okay, so now we're good to go. So let's go ahead and publish. Okay, so that looks good. So now we have disclosure, terms of use, we have privacy all in the footer. Let me just open that up and make that a capital P. There we go. Okay, good. So let me go ahead and click on publish. All right, great. Now, if you're going to be like an Amazon associate, then you're going to want to have like this disclaimer in the footer as well. So we can click on copy. And so, for example, that's where this would go, for example. And so let's go to the footer. Let's reload this. All right, there we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add in a text widget. We'll just drag and drop this right there. Put this in right there, paste. Okay, so we'll just say website, or put in your website. Let me click on save. Okay, and let me reload this. All right, let's just take a quick look. All right, good. So now we have a nice little disclaimer right there, and we have our links to our important pages down there. Now, of course, you can come back in here in menu and come back into the footer menu, and you can add in things that you want. So for example, like if I want to add in like the contact page here, and I want to add in the about page, that's the sort of place for it. So let me go ahead and click on publish. And I think that looks very nice and elegant. So if you're going to be an Amazon associate, then here you go. You can have this disclaimer right here for Amazon associates. You can have your footer menu right there, which displays all your essential important links. And then you can have your main menu up top there and your social media menu right there. And I think that looks really nice. I think the website's now coming together really well. Now, briefly, like terms of use, privacy policy, all that stuff, like you definitely don't need to worry about that with a brand new website, but it's something to take into consideration to add once your website starts making a little bit of money and starts getting traffic, etc. Privacy policy just talks about like the collection that your website uses to collect data. Then terms and conditions are like terms and conditions that people have to abide by when following your site. Then you want to have maybe a disclaimer or disclosure that talks about how your website makes money, any conflicts of interest, etc. Now with WordPress, it does come with its own privacy policy that you can take advantage of. So you got to adjust this. Like our website is like mywebsite.com. What person data we can collect, and like here we go. So it comes with a basic comes with a very, very basic privacy policy that you can just use right off the bat if you want. And so that's basically it for how you adjust the footer. Now let's edit some blog posts with this theme. So this is a blog post on this 2019 theme, and I think it looks fantastic. So if you're wondering, like, where's this image coming from? Now again, when we did the homepage, I added in a feature image, which is over here. So when you add in a feature image, it automatically gets put at the top before the content of the blog. Now, obviously, you have to add in a pretty big size image, not too big, but you definitely want something that's around like 2000 by 2000 pixels. 1500 by 1500, something like that. If you add in a feature image that's too small, like 300 pixels by 300 pixels, it's just going to get blown out and it's going to look bad. So if you want, you have to have a big image so it's crisp and sharp and it looks really nice. Now this blue overlay, you can absolutely change it. You're not stuck with blue. So to change the blue overlay, you just have to go to customize. And now you just navigate over to where it says colors, okay? And so right here, we can just click on custom color, and then we can just adjust the color as we want. Now you're unable to change like how strong the overlay is, okay? So if you don't like an overlay at all, you can uncheck this, and then you're stuck with a kind of a darker overlay. Unfortunately, you can't change this. The images always have an overlay, so the text is nice and readable. So I definitely would go with apply a filter and maybe just change the color ever so slightly so everything's readable. So I'll just leave it like that because I think that looks really nice. So I'll go ahead and click on publish. Okay, so X out of that. And so underneath here, we have the page title and the author and the dates, okay? So again, if your author is right there, you're wondering like, well, David, how do I change my author name? So again, you have to go here to users, okay? And then you go into users. And so I'll open this up right here. So this is the administrator account. Again, I told you in the very, very beginning to create an author or editor account, but if you don't want to, it's fine. You don't have to, but you know, this is where I put the nickname in, okay? So David, then display name publicly as a name instead of the login name. So that's why it's coming up like that, so it looks nice. All right, now we have the actual blog post, and pretty self-explanatory. It's a blog post, so you're just gonna write content, be adding images and videos. It's not that complicated. So this is your H1 tag. H1 is the title of the page. This is H2 tag. This means this is a subheading of this. And then if you want to create a subheading from of this, that would be an H3 tag. So for example, subheading, and then I can click on this icon right there, go to heading, boom, then change this from H2 to H3. And now this is a subheading of this. Now you can click on this little information tab right there, and it's very helpful because it gives you a high-level overview of the structure of your site, so everything kind of makes sense. So for example, like if I was just to change this and I was to change this into H4, now if I click on this, it's going to come up as yellow because that's the incorrect heading level. Like H4 is heading 4, that's a subheading of an H3 paragraph, you know, if that makes sense. So you gotta have everything be logical. So that's why you'd have to jump in here and change this. Now you can publish a site, you can do whatever you want. If you just want to leave it H4 because for whatever reason, you can go ahead and do it. But that's the point of headings, okay? So just change that back to H3. Now to add media is super easy. So you just click on this plus sign and then you're presented again with your blocks. So you can add in your Instagram like we did before. You can add in a YouTube video like we did before. You can just type in like image and then up pops images right here. And so again, I can just upload any image that I want. And so, you know, for example, I can upload an image again, or, you know, I'll upload this image of myself, for example. Okay. And so now I have different styles over here. If I want to go with rounded, if I want to make this a little bit smaller because it's too big, if I want to say center or full width, I could do that. So full width, that looks really weird. So I'll just say align center and I'll make this way smaller. Okay, so that's kind of like how you can play with images, and YouTube videos work the same way. We just grab the YouTube URL, go to new section, and then you can just copy and paste in you know, anything. So if I just go to like YouTube, for example, we'll just open up any video. Okay, so we'll come down here to, all right, we'll come down here to this video on Amazon. All right, let me back out of this. Okay, so let me just come here, copy and paste this in, and then the video automatically gets populated. So let me go ahead and click update. And let's go ahead and just reload this blog post, see how it's looking. And okay, that looks great. So now we have an image and video, and there you go. So that's primarily what you're going to be wanting to add. Okay, so let's jump over back to document. Now there are two plugins I consider essential for any website. So let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go back to plugins and let's open this up. So the first one is Yoast SEO, which is an SEO plugin. And so we'll type in Yoast SEO, literally called Yoast SEO. And this gives you a little bit more control over the on-page SEO of your website. So search for Yoast SEO and then go ahead and activate it. Okay, so Yoast SEO is now activated. So let me just reload the blog post. Now, once you have Yoast SEO activated, you're going to have a new section at the bottom of your blog post here. This is where you have more control over your on-page SEO, where you can set an SEO title. You can change the slug, which is basically the permalink. So for example, if we come over here, the permalinks right now, again, I told you how to set it up. So it should be /blog/post title. And so this is kind of like the rest of the slug of the URL that you want. And then a meta description that explains what the post is. The image is being grabbed from the feature image. And that is it for like Yoast SEO. Okay, so let's continue. So now we have something called, we have categories, we have tags. I personally don't use tags, and I don't recommend that you use tags because it just creates a bunch of pages that are not particularly helpful. But you know, we have a bunch of categories, and to find your categories, you want to navigate to your back to your dashboard. You want to click on posts, and then you want to go to categories. And once you're in categories, this is where you can adjust things. So every blog post needs to be organized under a category. And so as you notice, like uncategorized is the default category. So that's why we can't delete it, where we can delete these other two. And so I personally like to delete uncategorized. I think it's just a thing that I think you should do. So anyways, to do that, we have to make this not the default category. So go to settings and then go to writing. Okay, so under here, default post category, change it to whatever you want. I'm going to change it to travel, and I'm going to click on save changes. Okay, settings have been saved, so let's just navigate back to our category page. And there we go. And so now I can go ahead and delete this. Great. Okay, so now we have two categories. So let's click on the category, and then you're on the dedicated category page. So this is where we can add in a helpful description. Description goes here, okay? And so we have travel, the slug is travel. The page will look like travel archives. So you can come in here and change it to something else if you want, like travel blog post, whatever you want, you know, because this is going to be the dedicated page that's going to be appearing in search engines. It's going to be structured like this. So anyways, let me go ahead and click on update. And let's just take a quick look. And so what that specifically does, so once I have this and someone was to, okay, so now we come down here. So for example, it's categorized under travel. And so if someone clicks on travel, then they're going to be on the dedicated archive page for travel. And so this is kind of like what it looks like here. And so that's kind of like how the structure of it. Now, some themes allow you, some themes like show the, back out of this. Let me back out of this. All right, there we go. So some themes actually show this description. The 2019 theme, unfortunately, does not. It just has category archives travel. A little bit disappointing personally, because I personally like themes that kind of allow you to add a little bit of content to go along with it. So for example, if we go here to like domain name registrars, and like this is the category on this website, you know, with this theme, I'm able to add in like a little description about like what this category is all about. It's not a big deal, obviously, but just something, a little thing that I like to be able to add. But anyways, that's how you adjust categories, okay? And so one last plugin, okay? So that's it for categories, that's it for tags, that's it for the feature image, as well as like how do you kind of structure the blog post overall and change the URL slug, etc. Now, one last plugin I recommend is you go to plugins again, go to add new, and what you want to do is you want to go to smoosh it. And what Smush It does is that it compresses all your images and any future images you upload. And so what that does is like it makes the file size a little bit more smaller, but still maintains good image quality. So your website will load faster and you just taking up less storage space on your website. And so once you go ahead and click on Smush It, now from this point on, anytime you upload an image, it'll automatically be smushed, but you can just go back in time too. So now we have Smush over here. Click on it and you're going to be on the dashboard for Smush It, and here we go. So you can just click on okay. Okay, skip this step. There we go. Okay, so once you click on Smush It, has that little welcome thing that instructs you what to do. But here we go. And so right now, this is just where you can like bulk smush images. And so right here, we can bulk smush 9 images. And so what that's going to do, like click this, and it's going to optimize 9 attachments. So that means 9 images that we've uploaded so far. It'll just compress it. And this is a very essential plugin because it just makes your website a little bit faster over time, as you're going to be uploading a lot of images to your website over time. But anyways, that is how you structure a blog post overall. So ignore tags, pick relevant categories, make sure to change the author name to something a little bit more logical. It shows you how to like structure the blog post with H2, H3 tags, add images, video. You can add in HTML for your ConvertKit or Aweber or whatever email opt-in provider you're going to use, how to set this image, how to adjust the color, etc. So that is it for blog posts. About page and a contact page. So in the beginning of the tutorial, we added an about and contact link in our menu, and we created specific pages. Now this is the about page. There should be no content on unless you publish something. Now for the about page in general, this is what I suggest, especially for the 2019 theme, because it's kind of like an expert oriented blog. Definitely want to just lead off with information about what the website is about. A good about page is never about you, it's about the website. So the way I generally like to craft any type of like about page, the general template I follow is like establish authority. Okay, maybe tell a little bit of a story, establish your credibility, establish like what the website is about and why you have the authority to write it. Next, I like to usually include like a little section like how to use this website, etc. And then I usually like to end off with like a quick little bio. And so it's totally up to you, but that in general, that's kind of like this general template that I would follow. Okay. Again, it's not about you. Nobody wants to read like, oh, my name is David. I like long walks on the beach and I drink coffee and I like to read books. Like that's not what people want. Like people want to know like, who are you? Why are you writing this website? What's your experience? What gives you the authority to write this kind of content on your blog? Now, for the contact page. This is the contact page. Now, a good contact page should have just a quick little like introduction. Okay, so like here we go, like hello friends, contact David and the team behind Website Creator Pro. Fill out the form below. We'll try to get back to you as best we can. You can also reach us via our Facebook page. Questions, affiliate, course issues, use this form right here. Okay, and so you can do the same type of deal with your contact page. You don't need to copy me, but that's a good model. Okay, just have a little bit of an introduction. Like you could link to Facebook, Instagram. You could create like a dedicated FAQ, whatever it is that people need. And then just tell people how to contact you and what to expect. Now, in terms of adding in a form, that's really super easy with WordPress. So this is powered by a plugin. So let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go to plugins and let's go to add new. Now the plugin that we're going to be adding is WP Forms. So it's WP Forms. And this is one of my favorite plugins for WordPress in order to create helpful forms. So let's just go install and let's click activate. Okay, so WP Forms is activated. So let's go ahead and create our first form. Now it'll have its own dedicated setup area, and so this is really nice. So in general, it's a contact page. We just need a simple contact form, so we can click this right here. Okay, and this looks good. So we have first name and last name. All right, so right here, maybe I don't really want the first name and the last name, and so we can get first, last, and we'll just keep it as simple. So now we have name, email, comment, or message. And let's click on advanced options so we can change a couple of specific things under the advanced option there. If we go into settings, this is where we can change the notifications. So sent email address, admin email. If there's a specific email you want like messages to go to, this is where you can input it. If you want it to be like a different email than your email that you use when you created your Bluehost account, this is where you put it in, okay? So anyways, let's go back to fields, and I think this looks good. So let's go to save. Great, now let's click on embed. And so let's select an existing page or create a new page. Well, we have the contact page already, so let's do that. All right, and so I'm gonna select on contact and click on let's go. Great, so now we can click on done there, and we can click on this, and we can just find WP forms. Okay, so you just type in WP forms, click that, and then select the form that we want, simple contact form, and there you go. It's that simple. And so right here, then it's like you can give context on how to contact you. All right, now we'll click on update. All right, now let's just take a quick look. And yeah, that looks great. So now we have a nice little form, and we can enter in some text to go along with it. Now, one last little thing, the URL structure for these pages should be yourdomainname.com/contact, and the about page should be yourdomainname.com/about. Don't get cute and clever, okay? Just call it about and just call it contact. Anyways, that is it for how to set up an about page and contact page. Now for some on-page SEO for your professional blog. So if we take a look at the homepage of our website, here we go. So if you take a look at the page title up top there, it says travel, finance, and personal development, then a page separator, and then the site title. That's okay, but I definitely recommend with the homepage of any website, you lead off with the site title, page separator, and then a description of what the website is about. So for example, websitecreatorpro.com, page title, Website Creator Pro, page separator, keyword description. Why is that important? Because it's just helpful for branding, because this is the home page. So we want the home page to be easy to find, so people will type in like the name of the site, it comes up, it looks great, it looks professional. And then this right here is the meta description, and both of these things that you can set very quickly and easily within WordPress. This right here is a Google feature, so you don't have control over what links they show here, but Google will start doing this once you have enough content and your website starts getting a little bit more traffic. So anyways, in order to get that set up, so you want to come into edit the page, okay? So we want to edit the home page. Now we want to come down here, and this is where we want to edit. So we want to get rid of this. So we want to lead off with what the site title is, okay? And then page separator, then describe what the site is about. So I can say like a personal finance and travel blog. Okay. Now, if you notice right here, it's still orange. And so that means that it's not long enough. So you should probably maybe consider increasing the title. But I know that like the page title, the way it comes up here, this is adequate. So this is just a rule of thumb. You can break this rule. You don't need to follow. You don't need to be too strict with this. It doesn't have to be like keep going until it's green. Totally fine for it to be in the orange. And then right here is a meta description. That means you describe what the page is about. And so the meta description is this section right here. So what you type in here will be coming up here. And so you want to make sure that you incorporate keyword and phrases that are related to the site. So that's why I have like create a website, start a blog, launch an online store, because that's what Website Creator Pro is about. And so that's what you just have to do for your homepage. Now for blog posts, it's the other way around. So we just take a look at a blog post. Okay, so we have like hello world, page separator, and then the site title. That's great. That's the way we want it to be for specific blog post pages. So for example, right here, the 6 best YouTube cameras for bloggers. Page title is the 6 best YouTube cameras for bloggers. Page separator, Website Creator Pro. That's the way you want to set it up. So you want to come in here, make sure to click edit, and then again, same process, come down here, then type in anything that you like, whatever the blog post is about. So again, like 8 essential travel tips for Thailand, page separator, then the site title, okay? And then that's it, okay? And so, or we could put in like, we'll say eight very essential, there you go, 8 very essential travel tips for Thailand, good. Then a meta description, make sure to incorporate whatever the keyword phrase is that you're going about. Like for example, if we're going after travel tips or travel tips for Thailand. In these travel tips for Thailand, you're going to learn how to blah, 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 blah. Whatever, just write a meta description, okay? And that is all you have to do. Then one last little thing, make sure to pay attention to your permalinks. You want to keep your permalinks as short and sweet as possible. You don't want them to be super long and weird. You just want to have the essential keywords that are relevant for what the piece of content is that you're creating. So for example, if like over here, the URL structure is like the 6 best YouTube cameras for bloggers, the URL structure is best camera YouTube. Literally like 3 words. It's not the best YouTube cameras for bloggers. It's too long. Just keep it short and sweet and just like narrow the URL structure is down as best you can. It doesn't need to be 2 words or 3 words. There's no rule. It's just the rule is really just to keep it URLs clean and have essential keywords in the URL structure. And that is generally how you want to go about structuring your both your homepage as well as your blog posts. Okay, so let's set up related blog posts for our professional blog. So what related blog posts are is this little image area at the footer of a blog post. And it's fantastic because people who find your blog via search engines or social media, whatever, they get to the bottom and then there's a nice clear call to action for people to do something else. And so you don't have to install related posts, but I'm going to show you how it's done just in case you want to, because it's just a win-win for everyone. Because 1, it's visually pleasing. 2, it builds nice internal linkings within your website. And 3, it gives your readers something to do, somewhere to go after they finish reading the blog post. So anyways, to get started is to use Jetpack. This is why I had you not uninstall Jetpack when we first began the tutorial. So anyways, all you have to do is click here to get set up with Jetpack. Now you're going to have to create a WordPress account in order to continue with this. So just go ahead and do that. And as you go through it, you'll probably like land on this page. But once you get to this page, Jetpack has been set up correctly. You don't need to pay for anything. And so then you can just navigate back to your WordPress dashboard and then click on Jetpack again, and it should look like this. Now the section where you want to go is you want to navigate to settings, then you want to go to traffic, then you want to come down here where it says related posts, enable related posts, and then highlight related content with a heading, and then show a thumbnail where available, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And then once your blog has enough content, this will just happen automatically, and that is it. How do you get social media buttons on your website? So that's what I want to show you quickly in this section. So first, services, there's plenty of services that do this. There's plenty of plugins that allow you to add social share buttons. One service that I particularly like is called Add This. And so you have to create an account, but it's completely free. Now, once you create an account, you're going to be looking at something that looks like this, which will give you analytics. Will tell you how many times your piece of content was shared and what specific piece of content was shared exactly. So anyways, you want to go here to click on tools, and let me get rid of this actually. Let me archive this. And so you're going to be looking at something like this. So you're going to have to click here to add a new tool, and then we want to add share buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we want floating, okay? And so let's click on continue. Now you can either have it be chosen by you what you want, or you can use smart sorting by Add This. Completely up to you. I tend to like to use selected by you because I usually just want like, Facebook. We'll move Pinterest up top there, email, and then kind of leave it at that. Like Facebook, Pinterest, email. Typically those are the best. But again, totally up to you. Maybe your audience is more relevant for European audience, so maybe you want WhatsApp, or maybe you want something like Reddit if that's the community where it's at. I don't know, depends on your website. So anyways, just go ahead and click on Activate Tool, and then right here we can navigate the way the tool will actually look. But I think this looks okay. We can change different things, like for example, if I come down there, mobile size buttons, I want maybe to be small, for example. So like when people are on their phone, it looks like that. I think that looks nice. Anyways, let's go ahead and activate the tool, and great. So now we have to get the code, and the code is right here where it says the script. So we'll take the script right there. Now we have to put the script into our website. And so how do we do that? I suggest you come to plugins, go to add new, and then go to headers and footers. Okay, that's the plugin that we want. And then let's go ahead and install this. So install now and activate. All right, so the plugin is activated. So now we just have to come down to settings. Let's go to insert headers and footers. And now we can have scripts in the header or scripts in the body or footer. I personally would put this script in the footer right here. And let's go ahead and click on save. Okay, let's just take a quick look at the website. And there we go. So now we have social media links appearing on the website, and that's it. Let's add Google Analytics to our website. So Google Analytics will give you information about how your website is performing, traffic, what pages are getting traffic, how long people are on your website, etc. It's very helpful. And so to get started with Google Analytics, all you have to do is Google Analytics and then create an account, and you just sign in with a Gmail. Now, once you set up everything, your website, you're going to be getting to a page where you're going to have different properties, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to be able to find your tracking info, okay? And so let's go to tracking code. Okay, so right down here, this is where my tracking code is. So I can take this, copy it. And now that we've installed headers and footers, we can go ahead and install the script, the tracking code, the Google Analytics in our header, and that's it. And then go ahead and click save, and that's it. You just installed Google Analytics. Now we are at the end of the tutorial, and I just want to finish this off by just covering a few minor little details. So for example, you notice this image right here, it's associated with this email. The way that this is working is because I'm using a service called Gravatar, which is owned by WordPress. And so you just sign up to Gravatar for free, and then you can associate any type of picture with a specific email, okay? And so that's the picture I have associated with this. That's how it appears. Now this is useful to do because when you have a blog post, okay, and then at the footer of blog post, blog post was written by David, and there's a picture of David and a little bio. That's how that's working, because it's getting the image from Gravatar, okay, and then it's taking the bio from this section right here, okay? And so right here, you can just change your profile picture on Gravatar, boom, click the link, it'll navigate you over here. Okay, so anyways, now again, to change colors, I already touched on this a little bit, but let's go over it one more time. And so this changes the color on the overlay of the image on the blog post, as well as the colors for any type of link on the website. And so again, just to do that, you go over to colors, and then right here is where you can adjust things as needed. Obviously, don't pick something too tacky. You want something that's readable. Typically like reds and oranges and blues are okay. You don't want anything that's just too strange. Again, it's your website, up to you though, but I would definitely kind of stick to something more along the lines of like blue looks kind of nice, like that looks like a nice rich color. Now last is the favicon icon up top there. So let's go back there. And so we go to site identity. Now site icon, this is where we can add a site icon, but obviously because this is definitely a theme for like a professional blogger, expert type deal, it's up to you what you want to add. Maybe add your face if you want. And so let's just go ahead and do that. I'll select the icon, and okay, I'll select myself again. We'll take this image, and okay, that'll be the app icon. Okay, so we'll compress that a little bit. Okay, I guess I can't touch that. Okay, let me just click on crop image. Okay, so then it updates it. Okay, so that's totally up to you. So you could go that route. Now, if you want to create your own dedicated logo, you could just go to something like logo maker with an R, not ER, R. So we can go to logo maker. Okay, then I can X out of this. And so then we can, right here, we can quickly and easily create some type of quick little favicon. And so, for example, if it's a travel website, we can just type in like globe, for example. I'll type in globe, see what pops up, and then take this image. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, and then I'll click on save logo, and then it's like, no thanks, download the low resolution file. Then the logo's downloading right there. Okay. All right, so drag and drop that right there. Okay. All right, so now we'll come back here and I'll remove this. I'll select the site icon and then I'll drag and drop this into place. Okay, so make sure to have it have alt text. Now, just another side note too for SEO for alt text. Alt text should be used to describe images. And so if it's just decorative, don't put any type of alt text. But if I have like an image within a blog post where it's to demonstrate something, then you want to add in a keyword rich alt text that describes it. Anyways, let's go ahead and click select, and that looks good. So we'll click on crop image. Okay, and so now we have a nice looking favicon. So let's X out of this. Sorry. Click publish. Okay, and that looks good. So let's X out of this. Okay, and so now our website is good to go. Okay, so we have a nice header at the top that describes the site, menu bar, social media links, favicon, page title that makes sense, a nice layout of the homepage, specific blog posts. I showed you how to add in email opt-in forms and how to customize things, how to adjust the footer so it looks good, and that is it. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. That is it for this tutorial. All right, everybody, that is it for this tutorial video on how to use the 2019 theme in order to create a professional blog with WordPress and Bluehost. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, hit that like button. My name is David, websitecreativepro.com. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.